ASMR channel. Just kidding, but not really. Today's video will be narrated in ASMR because I have a sore throat and I don't want to make it worse. If y'all remember from last week, I made this Urf Dowsie polymer clay model that's supposed to be a keycap, but someone online was like, "That's no keycap, it's huge." Yeah, my bad, it is big. It's not gonna fit on my 75% keyboard unless I remove some of the surrounding keys, but it fits on my brother's full-size keyboard, so it's all good. Yeah, so I made the model, hardened it, and then cast it in silicone, and today I'll be casting it in resin. I'll link the sculpting video in the description box below for anyone who's interested in watching the full thing. So let's get started. Just to recap, he's broken up into two parts because he has two main colors, the teal of his seal body and his white headpiece. This is my supervisor, by the way. His internet name is Greg, but he also goes by Little Piece of Blue Stuff. He would like to remain anonymous though, so don't tell anyone you saw him. So to begin, I'm going to start with the finer details that protrude, like his tiny little teeth, nose, eyes, and eyebrows. For this process, I'll be using UV resin, aka my gel nail polish, a UV lamp, and my fine tip dotting tool. I'll just fill in the indents, clean that up, and pop it in the curing lamp. And next I'll be making his eyes. I don't know if you've ever noticed this in dolls, but their eyes usually have this like clear, shiny layer before you actually see the iris and pupil, which gives it some depth. So this is what I'm going to try to do with Urf's eye here. I'm applying a clear coat, curing it, applying another coat, and once I think it's thick enough, I'm going to make his pupil. So I actually tried this twice. The first time I sort of failed. I painted his iris and pupil directly on top of the clear coat, but I didn't like how fuzzy the lines were. Attempt number 1 is what you see here. So now I'm trying it again, but this time I'm going to make the pupil first and cure it and then do the surrounding areas after. So I'm going to apply another layer of clear polish just to act as the glue that will hold the pupils in place. I'm going to cure it. And as I said before, I'm going to apply the iris color now. Iris has a bit of a gradient, so I added black to the tops and mixed it in a little. Now that his eyes are done, I'm gonna work on his eyebrows. So sorry that tufts of my hair are blocking like everything, and now I'm considering shaving my head bald. Just kidding, but I will use a headband next time. Did you see that? Today I learned that my gel polish has a crush on the silicone. Ooh. Just kidding. I learned that the silicone is staticky. Now I'm gonna fill in his tiny nose. Now I'm gonna work on the details of the headpiece. Starting with the nose, I filled in a dark blue, almost black color and cured it in my open concept miniature oven. I did the eyes right after this, but I don't have footage because storage and camera problems. But here's what the backsides look like so far. Now that I've filled in all the minor details I can do, I'm gonna go in and fill everything else with 2-part resin and hope for the best. I'm using art resin, and although the box and website say it's safe and there's no VOCs, I would still advise you to take proper precautions such as working in a well-ventilated space and looking into getting a respirator if you're going to work up close with them. Gloves are also highly recommended, and I probably should have worn them too, but I was like, I'll be careful, I won't get any on myself. I got some on myself. I'll make sure to wear gloves next time. Throw mud at me if I don't. Contact with uncured resin is not going to do much at first, but exposure over time can lead to contact dermatitis, which is basically giving yourself allergies, and why would you want to do that to yourself? So just read up on the risks involved in using resin and how you can prevent it. So here I'm just getting equal parts of the resin and the hardener with these syringes and tapping the syringe to get rid of some bubbles. Now I need to mix it for 5 minutes, and I'll just speed that up because I'm pretty sure nobody wants to watch me mix for 3 whole minutes. Now I'm just pouring the resin into 2 smaller containers so I can mix the colors easier. I'm using acrylic paint to color my resin, and I really don't need that much. So here's a little drop of blue, and the yellow got stuck, and this happened. It's like when you when you go in for a fart and it ends up being a shart. Yeah, so I'll mix that really well. And then I added some white to make it look more opaque because I didn't want Urf to look like translucent jello. So now I'm filling in Urf's face with the teal I just mixed, and I'm gonna fill it up almost to the top but leave a little gap because I'm gonna put the cross section of the keycap on top. Now I need to mix the white for his headpiece. And because the silicone part for the headpiece is very narrow, I can't really pour it in as easily as I could with Urf's face, so I'm going to use a toothpick and direct the pour of my resin. Yeah, so I ended up making too little, so I had to mix more white. And here you can see it better how I hold the toothpick and guide the resin in. I'm just going to clean off the surface with the flat side of a popsicle stick. And here I'm just filling up the cross section to minimize the amount of bubbles I could potentially have. Once it's coated, I'll carefully place it on the back of Urf's head and center it as well as I can. And now we're done. Now we just have to wait 24 hours to see how the pour will turn out. And I'll check in with you when I'm taking it out of the mold. Thump! Ta-da! Here it is. I'm hoping it turns out well. It feels like an unboxing video. Okay, it actually didn't turn out that bad. It looks a lot like the clay model. There's just a few areas that had some bubbles and didn't get filled, but it's alright, this one's just a prototype anyway. And now it's time to unveil the face. Oh, I'm a bit nervous for this. So far the bottom looks pretty good. I just see one bubble, but it's not in a place that will affect the keycap that much. Okay, the eye turned out really cloudy. I probably shouldn't have played with it so much before I put it in the mold. I'm hoping I can sand that part of his eye off, but we'll have to see. His face also turned out a little darker than I was imagining. I'm gonna quickly do all the smaller details on time lapse and then I'll show you when it's finished. Ta-da! Here's what it looks like after I've done all the touch-ups. It didn't turn out that bad, but I'm not loving it. There's a lot of things that I would change in the next production. His eye is still really cloudy, but I think the clear polish helped a lot. Here's what it looks like on his keyboard. And here's a bonus keycap I made with the leftover resin. I think the apple turned out so cute. Thank you so much for watching if you got to the end. If I ever redo Urf, I'll make sure to post it in a following video. As always, if you like this video, please like and subscribe. And I always say I'll see you next Thursday.